Hey guys, thanks for watching. I am here with David HEINEN, who is the pro here at Skylink.
How you doing, Brendan?
And Stephen Erickson,
hey,
the inventor of the Erickson bell. That's it right there.
Good to see you.
Yep. So this all started with the three of us because I brought the Erickson bell to the range to try it out, and I left one at David's teaching spot, and then I started seeing David put up videos with it because he was having some good success getting people to translate some very difficult intellectual ideas into some feels that could really work out better. So this video, we're going to talk a little bit about how you can use it and some general concepts about lag. But one of the ways that you use it, David, that I like is if I grab it. Normally, we just kind of let it go like this, but sometimes with some of your better players, David, I've seen you will kind of lift it up a little bit and really feel this rotation. What are you doing when you're doing that?
Yeah, so generally, I think a lot of people have issues with their driver, right? So the driver sits a little bit further out instead of like here. So like, yeah, if you're working wedges or something, you want to be in here, but if you're working like a driver, we want to kind of feel the width and, more horizontal. And so once I get it up to about halfway, then that's when, I want to be on that right side, and then I want to tug it, lag it, and then let it come out, right? And so that gets me all the way through it. So I really like the sense of it feeling wide and kind of horizontal, and then getting into the slot on the downswing.
Because David, if when you're using this, if you quit on your rotation, you feel it right away.
Yeah, I'm really looking for that clear catch that way. So, but what I've really noticed is it really makes you move your big muscles, and if you relax your small extremities, then that really helps you feel that sort of Hoganish slot or whatever you want to call that, to get you all the way through it and post on that left side. So, I'll have people work, a little bit left and then right and then back into their left, and I'm looking for that motion in there, right there.
That earlier shift.
Yeah,
kind of slots it.
Yeah, that slots it there, and then either you can hold on to it, or people that aren't as strong, they can let it out and then have to time the release a little bit.
See, I want you to show me, Stephen, because you talked about lag.
Yeah,
and so about how like the pressure on the bottom of your hands.
Yeah.
And feeling when that dumps off can kind of feel
So,
where the flip is.
Yeah, similarly, but with a much more less energy into it. So for me, if you're swinging this, it'll hinge, right? It's going to hinge and drop. So my sense of how to get lag into the swing is more that I'm just moving that forward, right? So it's a timing of where I start to go back. Like if you look at somebody like Hogan, he goes really fast forward.
Yeah.
So he's like here and here.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, that's how I kind of figured it out. It's really just people think a flip is terrible, right? Well, a flip is just in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Eventually, it's coming out, right? Yeah.
Right.
So it's,
a flip is just you did it here instead of here.
Yeah, and it really depends on what your grip is, and you got guys like Dustin Johnson that look like that forever because they have a strong grip and they got to hold it off, and you have other guys that can get it out here, and you got Kepka who's like in there.
Right.
So it really depends on what your grip is and what your release point is trying to be.
Okay.
If you had open hands,
right,
and how if you're sensing the pressure on this hand,
right, I'm feeling this is always a pull kind of.
And if you feel the pressure dump off that handle,
Well, what you feel is, so when you go this way, it's all in this hand. As soon as it dumps, it goes to this hand. Because as soon as you do this,
it flips into the other
length
hand,
of your arm runs out. Just like in a swing, when the length of your arm runs out.
It's sort of how Duval always talked about, he'd get it here and his release would feel that way.
Right, and that's how I play that way, so that made sense to me. Right, so I feel it like that. But then my thinking was just get there to do it more.
Yeah, and I think that, the concept of, where you're holding it like this is really genius, in the sense that most people are on it too hard.
Yes,
right?
that's why that kind of evolved as I thought about it.
I always want to get people to try to relax, so then that way I see that transition in there, because you see people in here trying to move it around, right?
Yeah, and I think that's interesting how you force the plane a little bit, which you can do.
It comes up more when
you and then the other thing,
rather than there, you go.
The other thing I would say is, so if you put the handle down here, you create that plane as well, without having to leverage up, right? Because you've just moved the center of it. The center of mass is going to be straight below wherever you hang from. So if the center of mass is now here, it hangs that way. So now you can do a very lateral move without adding this. The first version I made of this was flat on plane, and you would, like 2 minutes in, this part of your arm was dead. Because it needs to plane a little bit to counteract.
Yeah,
the
the
weight.
couple of versions you have, you know,
Yeah.
the heavier one, and this one is. I think this is a great version. So.
Yeah.
This one,
Really
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is kind of a sweet spot
tees?
for a lot of people.
Yeah, I got some tees.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to talk about David a little bit about hitting drivers straighter, more solid. Like people are talking about getting the face and plane matched up to hit it straighter.
Okay.
And kind of how we can use this to rotate a little bit more with our body and get it a little bit more lagged through impact.
And then you can teach me how to do it,
How to hit it.
because I could use help with my driver.
Well, you know, obviously, you know, on that downswing, we're looking for this transition at the top, right? So we want to get this in here, and then as it gets in here, as you're turning out of the way, hopefully the club can stay square longer. And so with that E-bell, you can't twist it at all. So it feels a lot more stable through the hitting area. And so most guys on the tour hit that cut, right? They hit a little fade, or, you know, if you want to turn it over, then you'll have to, you know, turn that E-bell over like that a little bit for you to feel that draw. So I think that, you know, the conception that most amateurs have from the top is the opposite, is they'll get it in here, and then they'll try to force the right shoulder or right hand in, or they'll get this way, they'll go up. So they're using that vertical force first, you know, and so we know in golf, you know, we're looking for, you know, this shift to happen, and that rotation to happen, and then that vert force to happen last, right? And so a lot of amateurs have that misconception of vert, toss, you know, all sorts of mixed things.
Yeah. So David, are you saying like with this, like you wouldn't, like if the face is coming off of this like this, you wouldn't hit it like that,
Yeah,
right?
yep.
And most people are doing that with their club. So the only way really to square this is by getting a little more open and using the body a little bit more.
Yeah, I like what
Shift
you did
more.
right there, is you cleared your whole body out of the way. So then that way the E-bell or the club could get into the way like that.
Okay, so you're going through it that way
Yeah.
rather than this way, that way.
That's exactly right.
So flip-flop between swinging this a few times and then hit kind of like a fairway finder.
Okay. So, I haven't hit a ball today, but we'll see.
Okay.
It feeling sort of horizontal, then getting up here and then tugging it through, and then staying behind it a little bit, and then I'm through it. But so that looks like from that side, where, you know, most really good pros on tour, they'll go left a little bit and then right, and then stay behind it and then release and then go back into that left.
Okay, they don't really. You don't think with driver they're not going left.
Well, they are. They're going left, but I'm saying they go left, right, back into the left. Some people are steeper. Some people are like Rory are here and then up.
Oh, but they're keeping their structure upright this way. They're not.
Yeah, they're not.
Okay, gotcha.
They're not going like
Top
this.
over bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you get that feeling.
let's. This is. I don't know where this is gonna go. But.
Oh yeah, great. So good. All right, thanks a lot, David. Thanks, Steven. Yep. You guys are going to see more videos with us coming up. If you're interested in seeing David, you can come here to Skylinks or go to his website. And best way to contact him probably is through Instagram. He's got a huge Instagram account that you can contact him at and follow that at Your Best Golf. And if you're interested in trying the E-bell, go to e-bellgolf.com. There's a promo code called Be Better Golf or something like that. No, or is it? I don't know.
I'll change
Don't
it
worry
if
about
that's
it.
not it.
Yeah.
Whatever you want it to
The
be.
promo code is in the description of this video. See you later. Bye. Okay, great.